every Wednesday. Going to get our baseball fix from Michigan baseball coach Eric Bakich. Coach Bakich, good morning.
Good morning, Sam. How you doing?
I'm doing great. It's great to catch up with you as always, Coach. And, last week we talked a lot about how, your lineup really came through. You scored a lot of runs, and you wanted your rotation, your pitching staff to really step it up and to really improve their performance. And it's kind of a tale of two cities, Coach. Your pitchers rose to the fore, it seemed, last week.
Yeah, we got 3 quality starts from all 3 guys, and they did a great job. Got us deep into games, gave us a chance to win all 3. They sure did.
All right, so let's start off first with the first game against Houston last Friday, and the combination of Trent and Logan. They really came in, and you talk about guys holding it down for you. They kept you in that game. Obviously, you only lost it by 1 run, lost it 2-1.
Yeah. We had our chances, and we had some good scoring opportunities early. Tough call in the first inning. We would have had bases loaded, nobody out, but our guy was called out, so it ended up being second and third and 1 out. And that was really, the offensively, it was kind of that way where, 1 swing, 1 2-out RBI, 1 putting the ball in play. Runs were hard to come by, and you have to tip your cap to the Houston pitching staff. They're number 2 in the nation in ERA right now, and they didn't beat themselves. They only walked 3 people all weekend, so you don't like to tip your cap to the other team very often, but in this case we had to offensively, so we had to do whatever we could do to try to manufacture runs. And, luckily for us, our pitching staff did a great job. Trent came out throwing 3 pitches for strikes. Logan came out competing like he always does, and really holding them down. And they scored 2 runs on a couple of infield hits, which you don't like to see. But they didn't strike out either. They put the ball in play, and they just got some fluke hits when they needed them, and just really didn't go our way in that one.
Right. Well, you mentioned the lack of success at the plate. One guy had success every time he went to the plate, 3 for 3 for Travis Macy. So he went out there and was able to find some things against that tough Houston pitching.
Yeah, he did. He had a great game that game. He also stole 3 bases in that game. So he was in scoring position every time he was out there. And we just, 2-out RBIs are worth their weight in gold. I think I've always said that. And, they're game winners. They're huge momentum plays. And, we just didn't get the big hit, but they made some good pitches. It was really a good battle. It was a good battle of a couple of evenly matched teams, and just the difference in each game. 1 swing, 1 pitch, 1 play. They were nail biters every inning.
And so you move on to game 2. And a young man we talked about a lot last year in Evan Hill. In the first week, you said, hey, you just didn't see, the consistency throughout his pitch arsenal that you wanted to see. Coach, I gotta, I didn't see the game live, but it looks like based on the results, he goes out, strikes out 7 in 7 innings, obviously didn't allow a run, gave up just 3 hits in his second outing. It looks like Evan, from one game to the next, made some real good adjustments.
Well, the entire pitching staff did. And the biggest adjustments, it's not like they learned how to throw any better. They just slowed the game down mentally, and that was kind of the biggest key for the pitching staff. They all had a little bit of that first weekend jitters because everyone who took the mound, it was their first game, first time. And so, for him to come out and use his routine and breathe a little bit better and just execute his pitches, that was the Evan Hill that we're all used to seeing and hopefully we'll continue to see. But he did a great job of throwing his fastball where he wanted to, putting his breaking ball down in the zone when he wanted to, and then, mixing in, just changing speeds and working fast. And that's, it's not a overly complex formula, and he did a great job, just going out there and winning pitches and just held them scoreless. And that was the game that, was 0-0 and had to go to extra innings. And yeah, that was a tough one there. And that's the 3rd extra inning game
right.
That we've played already this season. But tell you what, we're going to be pretty darn good at extra inning games here in the future.
Yeah, and close. I mean, obviously, an extra inning game. I mean, means it's a close affair. And you haven't lost a game. And I know it's kind of drawing a distinction when talking about losses, but every loss has been by 1 or 2 runs. The only one loss this season by 2 runs, and so these close affairs, getting a lot of experience with them early in the season. And in the last game against Houston, again another 1-loss affair, not extra innings, but lost that one 4-3.
Yeah, the game we lost by 2, that was in the 10th inning. Guy hit a home run with a runner on base. So, yeah, we don't tally up the moral victories department, but if we are just, and I told the team this, we are a chin hair away from being 7-0 right now, and so it's the morale needs to stay extremely high, and there's a lot of positives, even though you kind of getting kicked and punched in the gut, and you work so hard and you see you don't get the result. It's just it's part of the process, and it's going to come, and the road doesn't get any easier coming up, but we gotta have a lot of confidence knowing that we've come out of the gate and we've played well in certain areas. We've hit really well the first weekend, we pitched really well last weekend, and when we put it all together, it's going to be hard to stop us.
All right, so, Coach, we've been talking to Michigan baseball coach Eric Bakich here on the Michigan Insider on Sports Talk 1050 WTKA, online at WTKA.com. So you go down to North Carolina to participate in the Notre Dame Irish Classic. This is the kickoff to your spring break sort of trip, where every single year you talk about it being one of the team-building type of weeks where guys are together for the entire week and you're playing games all the way through. But you're facing some stiff competition, as you said, Coach. North Carolina State, number six in the country. You got UCLA, number 19 in the country. So tell us about some of these teams that you're going to be facing.
Yeah, well, NC State we open up with, and they've got the number 1 pitcher in the country, the kid who's projected to go over number 1 overall in the draft, a left-hander named Carlos Rodon. And he's good. He throws mid-90s with a hard slider in the mid-80s, and we're just going to get up there and scrap and fight and compete and find ways to put pressure on him. He's really good, but he's not unbeatable. So we're going to have to play well and execute in all phases against NC State, because they're a World Series club just coming off of an appearance from the College World Series last year. So they've got a veteran club and most everybody back from last year's team. So they're deservedly so in the top 10 right now. Then we got a doubleheader the next day with Appalachian State and Notre Dame, and both teams are going to be extremely competitive. And then, like you mentioned, the defending national champion UCLA Bruins on Sunday. And then doesn't get any easier from there. We then fly down to Florida and play Florida Gulf Coast and University of Central Florida on Tuesday, Wednesday, before finishing the week next weekend with 4 games against Princeton. So it's going to be great for the guys, like you mentioned, the team building element to it, when we can just get our entire team together and spend that much time on the road together, and really just focusing on baseball and the team. And it'll be a great opportunity for these guys. And midterms are going to finish this week, and they'll be able to just kind of concentrate on athletics for a little bit.
You said great opportunity. How about for your guys to have a chance to be on the road, yet be in front of some of your fans? I know the Michigan Alumni Club of the Triangle area is trying to get a bunch of Maize and Blue fans down there for you guys for the NC State for that weekend down there in Raleigh. But also, it's supposed to, with this polar vortex thing coming, it may be a little colder. Could you guys have a little cold advantage by playing down there and being so used to it?
Yeah, it's exactly right. The alumni clubs are great everywhere we go. We have a great showing. I mean, it's just the power of the Block M there. I mean, it doesn't matter what city we go to, we've got Michigan fans coming out. So that's always awesome to see. The polar vortex is not so awesome, but we could use it to our advantage, because the forecast calls for lows in the mid-20s and highs in the mid-40s down in Raleigh this weekend. And so, yeah, while it's been cold all over the country, it might be a little bit too cold for those folks. And, we were outside yesterday practicing. So, for us, it's going to be a nice balmy day.
All right, Coach. Well, hey, flip some of those one-run games to the other side and come back, and we'll talk about it next week.
You got it. Thanks a lot, guys.
All right, that was Michigan baseball coach Eric Bakich. And you look at it, Ira, as he said, the the 2-run loss, the 1-2-run loss on the season, was in extra innings. It was a home run. Every other game has been that they've lost been by 1 run, and then they have a tie in there. So all these games have been tight.
Yeah, it's it's that moral victory thing that you hate talking about, and you don't necessarily want to say that they have moral victories in there, but you can see that they are moving things in the right direction. They need to get over the hump.
Well,
but they're getting closer. It's definitely getting closer.
You're right, and he's right. It's not a moral victory thing, but it is a perspective thing to the team. Say, look, all right, we lost these games, and this sucks. And there's nothing to put salve on that wound. But moving forward, don't be so down, because it's not like you just got wiped off the field in these games. It's just a hit here, a hit there, and it winds up on the other side.
And it's also not like a loss in those games hurts you in May. It's not like you're fighting for an at-large bid. The Northern teams are at a disadvantage for the most part getting to the next level of the season. You're building to win the Big Ten. And so all these challenges, all these experiences all help you move forward to winning the Big Ten. That's what when we talk to every coach that we have, from Bev on Fridays to Hutch, et cetera. What do they do with their non-conference schedules?
Beef them up.
They beef them. Now, it's different in basketball, although they still try to beef those up a little bit. It's way different, obviously, in football because wins and losses are a lot different in non-conference. But when wins and losses are not the end-all, be-all in your non-conference slate, and you're just trying to get better for your league play, so that when you win your league, you're put in position to go to the NCAAs or whatever your competition is. These coaches are doing it, and they're coming a long way. In year 2 for Coach B, they're coming a long way. It's fun to watch the development of different programs. Everybody goes about it a little bit different way, but it's fun to watch the evolution of programs. And the baseball program is coming along, and I can't believe we're talking about baseball when it's 7 degrees outside, but we are. Heck, the Tigers played yesterday, Sam. They played the Florida Southern. You see that Jameis Winston was taking pictures of the Yankees yesterday because Florida State played the Yankees. And the real schedule gets underway today because the Tigers are taking on the Braves, and it'll be more just MLB exhibition schedules for the most part from here on in. But, yeah, we're talking about baseball.
7:39 on a Wednesday morning. We're going to start talking about recruiting coming up. If you have recruiting questions, now is the time to fire them up. You can call us at 734-998-1050. You can tweet your recruiting questions at Michigan Insider. You can tweet them directly to me at SamWeb77, or you can email us at studio@WTKA.com. So back on the other side with the recruiting roundup here on the Michigan Insider on Sports Talk 1050 WTKA, the official voice of University of Michigan.